I'm working on a novel. It is a story of my life and my sister's.
Make it short and spicy. And if the main character is a girl, make sure she's married by the end.
The film is Little Women, written and directed by Greta Gerwig. It's a romantic drama adapted from the novel of the same name, the classic novel written by Louisa May Alcott, and starring Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Eliza Scanlon, and Florence Pugh as the beloved March sisters, and also starring Laura Dern as their virtuous mother, and Meryl Streep as their rich aunt, and Timothée Chalamet, who is actually considered a part of the family, but he's also a love interest of one of the sisters and a super great buddy of another one. So it's an interesting mix because it's told that this time Little Women is told through Jo March, and she's bouncing back and forth through time about her life as a writer and her relationship with her sisters. And the bouncing back and forth is where I had a bit of a problem with. It was getting a little confusing at times.
I too got lost, but I knew just to sit back for a second and sooner or later it would catch up. And once you knew the story, then you saw what they were doing.
Yeah, and
but
there was a reason.
Confusing.
There was a reason for that.
Right.
I mean, there was something happening in the present time, or in the current time, and then she was kind of explaining when they went back, like kind of how this came to be, you know, how this situation came to be.
I don't necessarily think it was necessary to do that because this is just a good story.
Yeah.
Right? This is just a good story. And this is one of the things I really found out about this, I really noticed with this film is, first of all, I think a lot of guys out there who are going to say, if their spouses or their wife or whoever says, come with me, let's go to see Little Women, they're going to say, you know, this is a girl's movie.
Right.
This is a female movie.
But it's not.
But it's not. This is what I consider to be probably one of the prettiest films that are out right now. It was
beautiful.
I really found myself sitting back in my chair, and what I was watching wasn't asking me to do anything other than just experience what these little women were going through.
And these
I think
little
that's very
women
rare.
were each of them were so determined to live life exactly on their terms, no ifs. So it was very interesting because they all had different aspirations. Did you ever read the book?
I never read the book.
I am one of the few that actually, women that never read it.
You don't have to know this book. You don't have to know this story.
No.
It's just told really well. It takes place in the 19th century, I believe.
Yeah, Civil War era. And talking about the acting, I mean, Saoirse Ronan she blew me away. I thought her role, I mean, she's nominated for a Golden Globe, but I just thought she played that so well. Because basically, she's the main.
She's it. She's pushing this story along. It's told from her view. It's told about her life. And they are all terrific, right? All the young gals in this. They
Florence
all,
Pugh.
Yeah.
And if you remember her from Midsummer, I mean, that was sort of her breakout, right?
One of my favorite movies of the year,
Oh, boy.
But, you know, terrific.
But they really let her character develop, which I thought was really interesting, because you kind of wanted to hate her at first.
And Tracy Litt, who is in this film, who plays the editor of the book, or the publishing company. This guy is working.
Yeah.
And when I saw him in this film, we just reviewed him in Ford versus Ferrari.
Right.
And if both of these films are coming out now, was he filming both of these films at the same time? And how much dialogue do you have to have in your head to keep your stories together? I mean, this guy's really working. He deserves all the respect he's getting now, because he's been around for quite some time. Yeah. And Timothée
Chalamet,
Chalamet. I mean, this young man, he is, first of all, he gets more and more handsome as we go along. not even just in this film, but just in general. And one of the things I really enjoy about his type of acting is that he's just so pretty to look at, but he's also just, the way he delivers his lines and the stories that he tells, they're just really from the heart. And I really enjoy that about all of his work that he's done so far.
And who knew what a dancer he was? I mean, he was like a natural. He was both a corny dancer and an excellent dancer.
And that brings up the idea of the cinematography in this film. I think the cinematographer's name is, it's a unique name, Yorkie Lasau, I think it is.
Yeah.
A lot of the cinematography, especially when there is a proposal that goes on in this film, a marriage proposal, and I don't want to say who or what, but the way that the camera is set out in this plantation, with these trees, and they're in the middle where this proposal is going. I think, oh my gosh, that is just so pretty to look at.
Yeah.
And the way that the two homes are set in these two properties, and quite often the camera's down looking at them. I think, God, how pretty is that to look at, right?
And
It
the
really makes it
music,
easy.
the way
Oh,
the music drove you, the
music.
score was beautiful by Alexander Desplat.
I think they'll probably be nominated for
Yeah,
some score.
it was. I think that's what sort of melded you in. It was like the scenery and the music flowing together perfectly. Okay, so I'll rate it.
All right, let's go for it.
I'm upping my rating compared to what I had in my mind when I started talking about it. But I'm still keeping it a little bit down because I had a little problem with the back and forth at a certain point. Not always, but at a certain point. But it was beautifully done film. I'm giving it 4.5 glasses of wine.
That's good. I was close with you. I was getting very close. I'll have to agree with you. I didn't care for the jumping back and forth. I had a problem with the 19th century language. Laura Dern and Meryl Streep, they're great. I wanted more. This is just a pretty film. And because it's a pretty film, it deserves 4 out of 5 popcorns.
Okay.
The name of the film?
Little Women.
Women.